What is the 1% rule? The 1% rule is one of the simplest ideas in trading, but also one of the most powerful. It says that if you improve just 1% every single day in your trading discipline, your results will slowly transform into something that looks massive over time. Most traders spend their energy chasing big wins, explosive trades, and overnight success, but they never build the small habits that actually protect their account and compound their edge. The 1% rule changes that. It is not about getting lucky with one huge winner. It is about showing up with the same small improvement every day so that your skills, your mindset, and your money all grow together. In this chapter, you will learn how to see your trading as a slow, controlled process instead of a race, and how the 1% rule can quietly become the backbone of everything you build as a trader. Why 1% is enough? The world of trading is full of loud stories about people hitting 10%, 20%, or even 50% in one day. These stories create pressure in your mind to do the same, but the truth is that most people who chase those numbers end up losing everything. When you risk too much, your emotions hijack your decisions and your plan disappears. The 1% rule protects you from that. If you focus on 1% improvements in your strategy, your risk control, and your mindset, you do not need to win every day. You can afford to lose several trades in a row and still stay in the game. Over time, small wins, small learning, and small discipline combine into a trading style that is calm, consistent, and profitable. This chapter explains why choosing 1% every day is smarter than gambling for one big shot, and why most traders cannot accept this idea because their ego demands fireworks instead of slow growth. The daily 1% trading routine. If you want the 1% rule to work, you must turn it into a daily routine. This does not mean doing long, complicated tasks. It means building a few simple, repeatable steps that you can follow every single day, no matter what the market is doing. Every morning, spend just 10 to 15 minutes reviewing your plan, what pairs you will trade, what time frame you will focus on, and what your maximum risk per trade will be. Before any entry, pause for one slow breath and ask yourself, does this trade fit my rules? After the trade, write 1 or 2 short sentences in your journal about what you did well and what you could improve. These small actions, repeated every day, train your brain to respect the rules instead of chasing emotions. Over weeks and months, this routine becomes natural, and your discipline feels automatic instead of forced. This chapter walks you through exactly what a 1% trading day should look like, step by step, so that you can copy it and run it every single day in your own life. The 1% risk rule. Money management. The core of the 1% rule for trading is the 1% risk rule. This rule says that you never risk more than 1% of your current account on any single trade. For example, if you have $5,000 in your account, your maximum loss per trade is $50. Your stop loss is not a random number. It is a calculated distance that matches your 1% limit. To find your position size, you follow this logic. First, decide your stop loss in pips or points. Then, divide your 1% risk amount by the value per pip or point. This gives you the exact lot or contract size that keeps your risk at 1%. By doing this every time, you escape the trap of over-leveraging, and you give your edge enough chances to breathe. This chapter shows you how to apply this rule step by step with real examples for different account sizes and how it protects you from blowing up even during bad streaks.
Trading psychology of the 1% trader. Trading is not just numbers and charts. It is mostly your mind. The 1% rule applies to your psychology as much as your risk management. A 1% trader trains patience, accepts small daily results, and stays calm even when the market refuses to move in his favor. Instead of celebrating every small win as a victory, he celebrates discipline more than money. He learns to separate his identity from the outcome of a single trade, so a loss does not feel like a personal attack and a win does not inflate his ego. He practices emotional control by sticking to his rules even when the market is confusing or boring. This chapter dives into the mindset of the 1% trader, showing you how to rebuild your relationship with loss, patience, and consistency so that your emotions support your rules instead of fighting them. The 1% rule in volatile markets. Markets do not always behave nicely. Sometimes they spike, gap, or swing wildly in a short time. In these moments, many traders panic and break their rules. The 1% rule becomes even more important in volatile conditions. Instead of increasing your position size to chase the move, you keep your risk at 1% and let your strategy work on its own. You may miss a few extreme moves, but you also avoid the risk of getting caught on the wrong side of a wild swing. This chapter explains how to adjust your mindset in high volatility environments, how to handle slippage and gaps without breaking your discipline, and how to protect your account while still staying active in the market. Small discipline, big habits. Discipline is not something you magically gain overnight. It is built from tiny habits that you repeat every day. The 1% rule is really a habit-building system for traders. It teaches you to focus on the process instead of the result. Each day, you ask yourself, did I follow my risk rule? Did I stick to my plan? Did I journal honestly? If the answer is yes, you are winning that day, even if your P&L is flat. Over weeks, these small wins stack into a powerful trading identity. You start to feel more like a professional and less like a gambler. This chapter breaks down how to build and protect these habits, how to restart when you fall, and how to stay consistent without burning out. Long-term compounding, from 1% to life-changing profits. The real magic of the 1% rule shows up over months and years. If you risk 1% per trade and slowly improve your edge, your account can grow in a way that feels shocking looking backward. Small, steady wins compound. Your experience compounds. Your discipline compounds. Even if your daily gains are modest, the long-term result can be life-changing because you did not blow up along the way. This chapter explains the concept of compounding in simple language, shows how it applies to your trading equity curve, and teaches you how to think in years instead of hours. It also warns you about the temptation to skip safety for speed and how to protect your compounding process from ego and greed. The 30-day 1% challenge, your action plan. The 1% rule only becomes real when you put it into action. This chapter hands you a clear 30-day challenge so that you do not just read and forget, but actually live the 1% rule every day. Every day, pick one small upgrade. 1% better risk control, 1% better journaling, 1% better patience before entering, or 1% better review of your trades. Every night, write one sentence about what you did well and what you want to improve. At the end of 30 days, you will have practiced the 1% rule more than 30 times, and your trading will already feel different. This chapter gives you a simple daily structure, a clear checklist, and a mindset frame to help you complete the challenge without pressure or confusion. Becoming the 1% trader identity. By now, you understand the mechanics of the 1% rule, but the final step is identity. You must stop seeing yourself as a trader who tries discipline and start seeing yourself as the trader who is disciplined. The 1% trader does not chase every opportunity. He waits for the right one and follows his rules without debate. He treats every trade as a practice of his identity, not as a test of his ego. In this chapter, you will learn how to internalize the 1% rule so deeply that it becomes automatic. You will discover how to handle doubt, setbacks, and boredom without abandoning your rules, and how to build a long-term trading career that aligns with the person you want to become, not just the money you want to earn.